So, the Cirat festival is over and we arrived in Sardinia now. My goal for the Cirat festival was to compete both in Speedline and Freestyle and get used to switching between the two disciplines and still try to perform on a high level. While in the end there was not so much overlap between the two. It was Speedline first, Freestyle second. I was still quite fatigued going into the Freestyle competition, so I think it's still a good preparation for how I will feel in Laax. Both comps went quite well for me, even though I didn't specifically prepare for the competition. In the Speedline competition, the qualification consisted of 2 tries to cross a roughly 50-meter long section on a super loose 80-meter octopussy line. Luckily, I got to have a session on the line the day before the competition, which helped me a lot to get used to the line. On my first run, I wanted to go safe, but I ended up taking a leash fall, resulting in a time of 1 minute 7 seconds to cross the line. On my second run, I managed to not take a leash fall and I got 49 seconds. This secured me the first place in the qualification, but there was a close runner-up, Augustin Moinat, who actually got 50 seconds, which is 1 second slower than me. The following day we had the quarters and semi-finals of the Speedline contest. It was a 1v1 format on 2 parallel 90-meter lines, and in both of my battles I knew that I could win if I didn't make a mistake, because my competitors were quite a bit slower than me. I told myself, calm cruising, calm cruising, calm cruising when I was walking on the line, and I managed to not fall and go to the finals on the next day. The finals were gonna happen on 2 parallel 300-meter lines that were rigged to a church. In the morning of the next day, we first had freestyle qualifications, which was a 2-minute run with 1 30-second break that you can take whenever you want in those 2 minutes. For my run, I only did easy and medium tricks and combos. I didn't go for any hard tricks, but I also didn't take any leash falls. With that clean performance, I managed to get first place in the qualifications, and Sakalomo was on the second place. Sakalomo and I were the most experienced freestylers in this competition. Taking first and second place was the best situation for us because we couldn't kick each other out before the finals. The battles of the freestyle competition were gonna happen on the next day, but before that I still had the Speedline finals against Augustin. We had 2 different setups for the 300-meter lines. One was a Sky Diamond and one was a Dynamite Pro, and the tensions were completely different. The format of the finals were to cross each line and see who was the faster overall. So we started at the forest side, crossed to the church, swapped lines there and went back to the forest. The sections that we needed to walk were 240 meter sections on each line, so the total distance was around 500 meters. Augustin chose to start on the Sky Diamond, so I went on the Dynamite Pro for the first run. The first half of the run went quite well for me and we were basically head to head the whole time, until I unexpectedly took a leash fall when a connection rolled under my foot. I told myself to just get back up and keep walking, but I just couldn't get back into the flow and I took 2 more leash falls. By that time, Augustin had a big advantage over me, but somehow I managed to catch up again and we finished the first run with only 4 seconds difference. At that time my shoulders were really tired already. We untied, stopped for a little picture and then swapped lines for the second run. At that point it was already getting dark, making the lines even harder to walk. When we started the second run, I felt that the Sky Diamond with way lower tension than the Dynamite Pro was a lot harder to walk for me. At some point I took a leash fall and Augustin just kept cruising to go for the win. In the end, Augustin's total time was 10 minutes 55 and my total time was 12 minutes 25 seconds, so I was 1.5 minutes slower than Augustin. My shoulders were really fatigued as I'm only used to short distances of walking, but I was really happy with the result and competing on these stunning lines was a total blast. Now it was time to sleep and be ready for the freestyle finals the next day. On the day of the freestyle finals I was already super tired and my whole body was screaming for rest, but I had to keep going. The quarterfinals were quite relaxed for me as I knew I would win the battle. So I took the battle as a warm-up run, and as soon as I landed enough tricks to be sure to win the battle, I started going for some harder tricks to see what I'm able to land that day. In the semi-finals I went against Eushebi from the Basque Country, who won this same competition the year before. I was still confident that I could win the battle, but only if I don't mess up my run. The battle was really amazing, and when we went on to the best trick, I knew that if he landed his trick, I had to land mine too, otherwise I might lose. He landed his trick on the second try, while I still hadn't landed mine, so I knew I only had 1 attempt left, which could make me win or lose the battle. I was 100% focused and landed my trick on the third try. This made me go to the finals together with Sakalomo. Being against Sakalomo, who at that time was definitely on a higher level than I was, meant to really go all in. Different to other competitions that I compete in, I was not really prepared with combos, so that meant I had to improvise a bit. But I won't go into further detail now and let you enjoy our battle. For the best trick, Sakalomo chose to try double Darth Vader. And I chose no hands front flip. Out of the 5 total attempts that we had, we still had some tries left to repeat the trick of the other person. In the end, Sakalomo won, which is well deserved from my point of view. And I was really tired and really happy to become second place in both disciplines. I learned that I'm quite weak in endurance style speedlining, and also I'm not confident on longer lines, as I only have sessions on long lines a couple of times per year. But Laax will be a 60-meter racing distance, so that's definitely in my favor. From the freestyle comp, I learned that I need to work more on my hard tricks and also prepare some more combos that I can land confidently. I also learned that I really need to have the combos that I want to do in the finals super consistent, because arriving at the finals I'm gonna be super fatigued, and landing tricks when your legs are shaking is quite a different thing from landing them when you're fresh. The Cirat competition was probably the last competition before Laax, so that means now I can focus on hard tricks, hard combos, and getting my combos consistent. Let's see how it goes.